I only know that I know nothing. Have you ever stopped to think about this phrase? Said by Socrates, one of the wisest figures in the history of philosophy? It sounds like a total paradox, right? How can the wise man know nothing? Was it false modesty? Or is there a secret here? A clue that this humility is actually the true starting point, not the end, of wisdom. Socrates was a figure in ancient Athens. He walked barefoot, didn't care about luxury, and spent his days in the marketplace, talking and especially asking questions. Lots of questions. He didn't leave anything written. What we know about him comes from his students, like Plato. And this phrase, "I only know that I know nothing," became the summary of his philosophical stance. But what on earth did he mean by it? Was he being ironic or serious? To understand, we need to look at the context. Socrates wasn't saying he didn't know his way home or how to tie his sandals. His "I know nothing" was a powerful critique of the intellectual arrogance of his time. He saw politicians, poets, craftsmen, all thinking they owned the truth, full of certainty about what justice, beauty, virtue really were. But then Socrates came along with his way of asking simple questions. "Oh, so you know what courage is? Please explain it to me." And question after question, he showed that these people actually couldn't sustain their definitions, that their certainties were empty. So the "I only know that I know nothing" was like saying, look, faced with the vastness of what really exists to be known and realizing how little I can define with absolute certainty the most important things in life, I recognize the limits of my knowledge. And that, my friends, is something you, full of yourself, seem to ignore. It was epistemological humility, humility about one's own knowledge. And here's where the key turns. If this phrase is about recognizing limits, why is it the beginning of wisdom? It opens the mind's door. If you think you already know everything, your mind is closed to the new. You stop learning. By saying, "I don't know," you put yourself in the position of a learner, curious, open to listening and discovering. Fuel for curiosity. Awareness of one's own ignorance is the greatest driver of curiosity. If I don't know, I want to know. It pushes you to investigate, question, seek. Foundation of philosophical dialogue. Socratic philosophy was a constant dialogue process. The meietics, the birth of ideas, where he helped others give birth to their own knowledge through questions. This only works if you don't think you already have all the answers ready. Allows course correction. If you admit you might be wrong, you allow yourself to change your mind, correct your mistakes, evolve your thinking. Those who think they own the truth become stuck. Wisdom is not a destination, it's a path. We tend to think of the wise person as someone who arrived, who accumulated all possible knowledge, a final point. Socrates flips this idea upside down. For him, wisdom is not having a full hard drive of information, but being in constant search, constant questioning. The true philosopher, or lover of wisdom, is the one who loves wisdom so much that they're always aware of how much more there is to achieve. The humility of "I know nothing" is what keeps this search alive and vibrant. And this Socratic lesson, almost 2,500 years later, is a slap in the face of our era, right? On the internet, everyone seems to be an expert on everything, the owner of absolute truth, ready to cancel anyone who thinks differently. Socrates' humility, the willingness to question one's own certainties and listen to others, would be a powerful antidote against the polarization and arrogance we see so much today, an invitation for more dialogue and less shouting. So, how about trying to be a little more Socratic in our daily lives? Not to feel inferior, but to stay curious, open-minded, always ready to learn. Remember, admitting "I don't know about something" is not a sign of weakness, but the brave first step towards true wisdom. Which certainty of yours would you be willing to question today, just to see what happens? Share with us in the comments. If this philosophical reflection inspired you, leave a like. See you next time.